Hi everyone, today I will be presenting about discrepancies in workers' wages. First, let me explain what wage discrepancies mean. Wage discrepancies refer to the difference between what employees are promised or entitled to receive and the actual pay that they get. This includes issues like underpayment, wrongful deductions, misclassification of employees, or even cases of unpaid wages. There are several types of wage discrepancies. The first one is underpayment. This happens when workers are paid less than the minimum wage or less than the agreed rate. It can also occur if overtime hours are not paid correctly or not paid at all. The second type is overpayment. Although it may sound like a good thing, it can actually cause problems because employers may demand the extra money back, which creates financial stress for employees. Next, we have incorrect deduction. These are salary cuts that are not legally allowed, such as deducting for tools, uniforms, or even for customer-related losses like debt or unpaid bills. Another issue is misclassification. This occurs when employees are wrongly categorized as independent contractors or exempt staff. As a result, they may lose out on overtime pay, benefits, and fair taxation. Lastly, there are cases of unpaid wages. This includes situations where workers are not paid for training, travel, or work done during breaks. It also covers cases where the final paycheck is withheld after an employee leaves. Now, why is this topic important? Wage discrepancies directly affect employee well-being, motivation, and their sense of fairness at work. With today's trends such as remote works and heavy workloads, these issues are becoming more common. For employers, ignoring wage discrepancies brings serious legal risks like lawsuits, penalties, and labor disputes. And from an HR perspective, wages are one of the main factors that influence employee satisfaction and retention. So, in short, understanding wage discrepancies is crucial because it impacts not only employees' financial stability but also organizational performance and legal compliance.
Good day everyone, my name is MOHAMAD HAKIMI and today I will present on the wage discrepancy among workers as discussed in Chapter 5. Wage irregularity occur when employees are not paid fairly or accurately, and there are four main causes. First, non-compliance with labor law. Some employers fail to follow minimum wage, overtime, or benefit regulation. This problem continues because authorities do not strictly enforce or monitor compliance. Secondly, miscalculation of wage. Error happen in timesheet recording, payroll system, or manual calculation. Mistakes include wrongly hour rate, incorrect deduction, and overtime miscalculation. Outdated system and the absence of the audit make this error repeat. And now I'm going to talk about the third cause, which is deliberate underpayment. Employer may intentionally reduce wages to cut costs. Some force employee to work off the clock, while poor monitoring lead to unpaid overtime. Without proper record, wage disputes are very difficult to resolve. And the final cause is unclear employment contract. Ambitions about pay rate, working hour, or allowance create confusion. In some cases, only verbal agreement exists without proper documentation. So, to conclude, wage discrepancy are caused by the weak legal compliance, calculation error, deliberate underpayment, and unclear contract. Addressing this issue requires a stricter enforcement and transparent contract. So that's all for me. Thank you so much.
Now I will be presenting on the impact of wage discrepancies on employees and organizations. As you can see on the slide, the first impact is financial loss. This means employees face reduced income, which make it harder for them to meet their basic needs. This unfair treatment also lowers their morale and make them feel dissatisfied. For the organization, this is also a big problem because they may suffer from higher staff turnover and have to bear the extra cost to replace staff. The second one is stress, burnout, and work-life imbalance. Long unpaid work hours can cause physical exhaustion and mental health issues like anxiety and frustration. employees also lose their personal time for family and responsibilities, which can reduce their overall happiness. This can result in lower productivity and higher error rates at work, which affects the company performance. There is demotivation, low trust, and reputation damage. When employees feel unappreciated, it lowers their morale and damages the trust they have in the management. Dissatisfied employees might also spread negative feedback about the company, which harms its image. A bad reputation like this makes it much harder to attract and keep skilled workers. Finally, the company faces serious legal and financial risks. Not following the country's labor laws can lead to lawsuits, heavy fines, and other penalties. These legal disputes can use up the company's financial resources and further damage its public image. So, that is all from me regarding the impacts. I will now pass the presentation to my groupmate to continue with the solution.
Assalamualaikum and hi. So, we already know that the wage payment irregularities are more than just a payroll mistake. It can affect employee trust, motivation, and even a company reputation. That's why finding a solution isn't optional, it's essential. So, let's all explore on how can organization tackle this challenge effectively. One of the practical solutions is the proper wage planning. When overtime or extra hours aren't budgeted, payments are often get delayed. So by allocate a specific budget for overtime and regular review to a payment structure, this can guarantee a fairness without having a financial strain. Then, does working long hours really mean higher productivity? Not necessarily. In fact, it often leads to burnout and unnecessary overtime costs. The solution is by encouraging the efficiency over hours worked. Flexible schedule, remote work, and wellness program can create a balance, make a payroll more smoother, and preventing irregular payment. The next solution is by conducting a training and continuous update on labor regulation. If managers don't fully understand wage law, or if employees don't know their right, mistake will happen. When HR and managers are well trained, they avoid error. When employees know their right, they can spot mistake early. So, the technology also play a big role. Outdated payroll system often cause miscalculation wages or overtime. The solution is just to invest on a modern payroll software, conduct a regular audit, and integrate payroll with time tracking. This combination will guarantee to increase the accuracy and transparency in wage payment. Together, this solution protect employees, build trust, and strengthen the organization. Thank you.
Now, let's move on to conclusion part. According to our assignment, we discussed that unpaid overtime and wage gaps are not small issues. They are real challenge in HR. They don't just affect employees' finance and emotions, but they also put the company at risk legally and can hurt its reputation. If these problems are not fixed, they can create frustration and spread across the whole workplace. When companies take action, they are not only following labor law, but also showing employees that their efforts are valued. And when people feel fairly rewarded, they are more likely to stay loyal and put their best to work. Next, in the long run, solving pay issue comes with big benefit. It helps reduce turnover, lower the chances of legal trouble, and build a stronger company image. It also makes the organization more attractive to skilled workers who want to join a fair workplace. So my final point is fair pay leads to a fair workplace. And when employees feel respected and treated fairly, the company is much more likely to succeed in the long term. At the end of the day, pay is not just about money. It's about trust, value, and culture. I think this all from our group assignment. Bye.